Morning, everyone. I really want to make fresh bread today. I'm not feeling 100%. I think I'm fighting off a little bit of a head cold. Had a cracking headache the last couple of days. But still, life goes on and things still need to get done. Anyway, I woke up this morning and I really wanted to make some bread. So first thing I have to do is actually fill up my bread flour container because I did not realise we were completely out. But thankfully, past me had enough forethought to buy bread flour when I did. I must have known. The other thing I'm almost out of is my instant yeast, but I got more of that the other day too. So that's good. Anyway, the recipe I use is very simple. This is just a super basic, no knead bread. And I use the recipe on Recipe Tin Eats website. That's what I use. Honestly, could not be any more simple if you tried. So all we want is 3 cups of either plain or bread flour. It's 4 ingredients. It's so simple. 3 cups or thereabouts. Next is 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. And you can see I'm almost out because look, we're down to the dregs. But that's okay because like I said, I do have another one. 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. And like you last, 2 teaspoons of salt. Kosher salt preferably, just not table salt. There is a reason for that. I don't know what it is. Now, last is 1.5 cups of very warm tap water. That's what the recipe says. So that's what I do. Actually, what she does say first, and I've forgotten to do it, is to mix your dry ingredients together. Almost forgot. There we go. Now, 1.5 cups of very warm tap water. And then if you find your bread or your dough is too dry, then add a little bit more water. If you find it's too wet, add a little bit more flour. And then that's it. It's going to sit on the bench. Yeah, see, I need more water. It's a very forgiving recipe. Anyway, so I'm going to keep faffing with this until I get the right consistency. I think, what does she say what it needs to look like? The dough will be wet and sloppy, not kneadable, but not runny like cake batter. I still need more water. I think I might have been a bit generous with my flour. Don't know. I don't think I measured it particularly properly, but that's okay. Anyway, we're just going to fluff around with this until we get the right consistency. Then I shall cover it with cling wrap and let it sit on the bench for a couple of hours until it's had its rise. All right, that is what it looks like. It's wet, it's not kneadable. So now I'm just going to cover it with some cling wrap and let it rise for a couple of hours until it doubles. And then I have a cast iron Dutch oven that I tend to bake all of my bread in just because it gives a really nice crispy bread. So that is what I'll bake this in later, but I'm going to leave this alone undisturbed. But that is really as hard as it gets. Today is one of those days where like I've got a bit of stuff to do, but I've got absolutely no motivation to do it. So I'm trying to find them. I mean, I have so far folded and put away washing. I've got a load of washing on. I've made a loaf of bread. So it's not as if I've done nothing, but there is stuff I do need to do. Like I do need to give like the main areas of the house a general tidy up and a quick clean because everything's just looking a little bit messy. So I've got to sort all that out. I just don't have the motivation. So we're going to find it and we're going to get it done. Starting right now. I'm not going to put my leek away because I need that for dinner tonight. So I'm not going to, actually I need to wipe down these benches. Let's start with that. I'll start on this side and then I shall work my way over here. Yesterday we got delivery of a new drip coffee machine just here. We got the Smeg brand one because my husband actually likes drip coffee. I personally have never had it. So if you can give some good like drip coffee recommendations, that would be great. In the big espresso machine that we use Fremantle Coffee Co. the Dr. Blend, which is just stunning. If you've never had that, I strongly recommend. This bench is not dirty, but I'll give it a quick wipe over anyway, because I wiped it over last night. It's not been used since. But yeah, if you've got any recommendations, feel free to send them my direction. That would be great, because yeah, we've got that, and I currently don't have coffee to put in it, which kind of seems a little bit important. Anyway, we're going to leave the leek out because that's for dinner. Dinner tonight is chicken pot pie. Okay, so the kitchen's all done. I've really just got to pack up the rest of the general areas of the house because I can't even blame the kids. Like 90% of it is just me, like faffing with stuff and then not putting it away, or like faffing with stuff for days at a time. So I'm just going to tidy up what is essentially the mess I've made. And then work out like what is it that I need to do. So I've been doing like heaps of journaling and stuff, so all that stuff's out. All right, so far dining room and kitchen are both done. Last thing I want to achieve is in here, and then I think we might go into the bedroom and do the makeup stuff, because I feel like that's going to be a mission. That is going to be an absolute mission, I can tell. It's going to take me forever, but what that does also mean is that we can just sort of sit and chatter, which I quite like to do. So, you know, all's not lost, do you know what I mean? I'm pretty happy with this effort. This is all looking super nice and tidy. So let's head on into the bedroom and let's organise our makeup station. That definitely needs to be done. All right, welcome to my bedroom. It is time to get into here and give in here a good tidy up. Because this hasn't had like a good dust down and a sort through in a little while. So it is time to do that. Like I said, it's been ages, so we're well overdue. Everything needs a bit of a dust, especially stuff that sits out. And I've got a drawer here that just needs a little bit of love and attention. The dogs are scratching at the door. Hang on, let me go let them in. Otherwise, they're not going to forgive me. Come on. Good boys. Now, if someone walks past my window, because our bedroom's at the front of the house, if someone walks past our window, guaranteed, they will flip it. So I do apologise about that in advance, but there's not much I can do about that. Anyway, so I'm just putting some stuff. I emptied one of my bags and I found like a hand cream and a whole heap of lip balm. So I'm just going to sort through that. Anyway, as I was saying, it has been a long time since I've been through this, given everything a tidy up, gotten rid of stuff that I'm not going to use. So I figured, why not now? Why not now when I'm not feeling 100%? So this is quite an easy task. This is my Bobbi Brown face base. I used to love it. I haven't worn it for a little while. Do I want to keep it or do I want to get rid of it? Because I don't really use it anymore. See, things like that. Because I found things that moisturize my face just so much better. That sort of stuff, you know. Because the older you get, you know, your skin needs change, right? And things that you used to like, not so much anymore. I am, with my makeup, I'm like quite a natural. Don't get me wrong, I like some sparkle on my eyes, but for the most part, I'm quite natural with, you know, I like my browns, I like my pinks, that sort of thing. That's really the extent that I go. I don't have any like eyeshadow palettes that have any sort of crazy colour in them, mainly because I absolutely suck at eyeshadow, and secondly, because, well, really it is because I suck at eyeshadow, if we're being honest. It is because I suck at eyeshadow. I'm just not good at it. So yeah, but everything's just going to get a little bit of a straighten up, a little bit of a tidy up. And I figured I'd just sit here and chat with you. Because I haven't done that yet, not here on YouTube. And I thought I could sort of tell you a little bit about me while we're doing it. So, okay, what are some other super random facts about me? I am married. I've been married I got married in 22, so this year will be our 4th year wedding anniversary. God, I had to do that math. That's shocking. So this will be our 4-year wedding anniversary this year. I was a single mother for, God, from the time my youngest son was born, and he's almost 17, until I met my husband and we got married, which was almost 4 years ago, as I said. So I was a single mum for a long time. I already covered that I'm a registered nurse, or I still am a registered. I never know how to word that. What else is there about me? I absolutely love to read. I am an avid reader. It is the 10th of January today, and I am on to my 3rd book of the year, with no sign of that trend slowing down at all. What else is there that I can tell you? I love to cook. I spend heaps of my time in the kitchen, as you will come to notice. I love to cook. I love to bake. If I could find a way to make cooking and baking, but without being a chef. I don't want to be a chef, to be super, 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 super clear. If I could find a way to make that my full-time job, I think I probably would. I don't know how to do that. So anyway, that's just a random little side note. What else is there? I've got 2 dogs. I've got a miniature poodle. His name is Gizmo. He is 5, I'm pretty sure. And I've got Cosmo. He is my cavoodle. He is 3. Can't remember. But he's my Star Trek baby, because there is a story behind him I'll get into another day. So I've got 2 dogs. They're the only pets we have. I don't think we've got any plans to get any more pets. I have dreams one day of getting a sausage dog. I'd love a sausage dog. Love a little sausage. That would be amazing. But 2 dogs right now is more than enough. What else is there? My hubby and I are big foodies. Well, my husband more so than me. Big foodies. We really love to go out to restaurants. And we will quite often go to really nice restaurants, because that is our thing that we really love to do. Most of our dates revolve around food, whether it be lunch or dinner in some way. Also love a breakfast. Controversial opinion. Lunch dates are I prefer a lunch date over a dinner date. Yeah. I love a cocktail. It's rare. I will say no to a cocktail. Love a cocktail. The fruitier the better. I don't like a dark and stormy, that sort of thing, but a fruity cocktail like a pina colada, margarita, I'm all over that. All over that. My current favourite alcoholic beverage of choice is Coke Zero with the absolute... Excuse me. Sorry, excuse my dogs. My current favourite beverage of choice is Coke Zero with absolute vanilla vodka. It's essentially just like vanilla Coke, but with vodka. That's my go-to. Also love a mimosa. You won't see me turning down a mimosa in any capacity. Love me a mimosa. God, what else is there about me? I love to just play around and play with makeup. I'm no good at it. No good at it at all. I only ever just do it on myself. I am a fan of luxury. In particular, my favourite design house is Louis Vuitton. That is 100% my husband's fault. He started this. It all started back when we were dating, right? And my wallet broke. And I happened to just say, I need to get a new wallet. My wallet broke. Next thing, I ended up with the zippy wallet, which I had for many years and loved. However, it was quite a big one. I'll see if I can insert a picture. If I can work out how to do that on YouTube, I'll do that. But it was like, it's quite big. But last year I downsized to a smaller one, which I love. And it's very similar. It's still the very classic Louis Vuitton monogram, and it's got the fuchsia inside. So I've just got a smaller wallet now, but I've got a couple of Louis Vuitton handbags, some of the bandos. Love Louis Vuitton. I am a hardcore fan of their monogram print. And as I said, I wholly and solely blame my husband for that, because had he not have started that when he bought my wallet for me, we may not be in this position now that we find ourselves in, of loving Louis Vuitton as much as we do. So, hubby, if you're watching this, my dear, you did this. Just know that. That is probably, Louis Vuitton is probably my absolute favourite design house. Followed closely by Dior, aesthetic wise. I don't have any pieces from Dior. One day I would very much love a Lady Dior. That is very, very high on the wish list many years down the track, because I swear to God, those things just get higher and higher in price. I've got no interest in Chanel. Chanel doesn't do it for me. Cosmo. Thank you. Apologies. Got no interest in Chanel. Prada's not really my thing either. Gucci is definitely not my thing. I feel like I'm way too classic in the things that I like for Prada and Gucci. And I've not really ever been into the stores, so I can't really speak much to that. Okay, I feel like this is as clean and tidy as it's going to get. The drawer actually is still in pretty good order, so I'm not really going to mess with that. But everything's had a wipe down. Everything's nice and tidy. I've had a good waffle. Pretty sure my washing machine's finished, so I actually need to go and hang out the tea towels that I've just washed. So I might go and do that. I'm going to check on how our bread's rising. Okay, I have very briefly come to the shops because there's a couple of things I need to get. I need to get a bottle of dry white wine for dinner tonight to go into the dinner to cook with, and I've also got to get a bag of our coffee beans because we are running very low, and I'm going to see if I can try and find some coffee for the drip machine while I'm here. So let's go see what we can find. I guess you could say I was half successful. I got everything I needed. I got the cheap bottle of dry white. I got some lunch, which is just a Singapore noodle fried rice with chicken. No, sorry, Singapore fried rice noodle with chicken. It's delicious. I've had it before. I got ham as requested. I could not get our normal coffee beans. They were completely out, but I did get this one. It is Brother of Mine People Every Day, which is what they use in their cafe, and we actually really like that, so I grabbed that. But yeah, so I guess you could say it was successful. Time to go home. Okie dokie. Our dough is ready to start working with. I've started preheating the oven, and my Dutch oven is preheating in the oven at 230. So that's been going for a little bit. I'm going to really flour this surface. Probably should have taken... Actually, let's take these off. This is not a good idea. Do not work with bread dough with your good bracelets on, guys. Don't do it. You will regret it. So let's take those off. There we go. All right. And where is my spatula? Here we go. We're just going to turn this out onto the bench. And what you will find is that it has got significantly less wet and easy to work. It's still quite a sticky dough, but it is easier to work with. So all I'm going to do is just sort of create some surface tension in it, if I can. But while being gentle, because I don't really want to knock out all the air that we have worked so hard to put in it. Now my phone's ringing and I'm all floury. It's going to have to wait a minute. All right, I think that's about it. Now all I'm going to do, got my baking paper with my bench scraper straight on the baking paper, and then that is just going to go straight in the oven. I'm going to give the Dutch oven another 10 more minutes to heat up, but that's going to go in and then we're going to bake. And that's it. Bread pretty much done. Easy. I've just pulled this bread out of the oven. How good does it look? Perfection. All right, now it is time to cook dinner. We're doing chicken pot pie. I've got my chicken cooking in the cast iron on the stove. So now I'm just going to prep all the veggies, get everything ready. I'll bring you back and I'll show you what everything looks like when I'm ready to really get things moving. Okay, so it's time to start cooking dinner. In here I've got bacon, but all the other ingredients I need for this dinner is cut up chicken, celery, carrot, leek, frozen peas and corn, onion, minced garlic, and my herbs. I also need dry white wine, milk, and chicken stock. So a fair few ingredients, but this, and also puff pastry. But this is an absolutely delicious dinner, but I'll come back at the end and I'll show you how it looks. But I've done this before. It is an absolute crowd pleaser. Chicken pot pie for the most part is done. All I'm doing now is covering it with the little puff pastry squares so that there is no gaps. Then it's going to go in the oven, then it's going to cook, and that's going to be dinner done. This is absolutely delicious. I haven't done this one, I think, since like October, November last year. It usually is a winter type dish because it's like a hot one, but I had a craving. Anyway, make sure you got no gaps, then we're going to go in the oven. How good. The time is now 4:15, give or take. Dinner is in the oven. There's a fresh loaf of bread that I've done. I've done a fair bit of housework today. I've done a little bit of running around. Dinner will be ready probably in about 15 minutes. It's going to be one of those type of nights where everyone will just have dinner when they're ready. But I just wanted to get it done out the way early. I can feel my headache coming back on. So I have just taken some Panadol and hopefully that'll sort of kick itself in a bit. We shall see. But I think I'm just going to sit back for a little bit with the book while that cooks in the oven. And then I'm just going to let the kids have at it basically when it's done. So that is a job well done in my opinion. I really do think so. I thought I'd sort of scoot over so you could see Gizzy. The book I'm currently reading is, when my Kindle loads, 1 second guys, is The Forgotten Bookshop in Paris. I'm not very far into that. It's by Daisy Wood, but so far I'm actually really enjoying it. I've just finished The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. That was a lot of stuff in one book. That was a lot of stuff in one book. I still don't quite know how I feel about it. At the end of it, I loved it, but the more I sort of sat on it, I'm like, was that too much to happen to one person? I'm unsure. Anyway, while dinner's cooking, I'm going to sit. I'm going to read my book for a little bit with the puppies. Cosmo's off. He's on the back of the other couch. And then we'll pull dinner out. And then I think we're going to call it a day. And I think that's pretty fair. Anyway, hope you guys had a good one. I think I had this in the oven for like 20 minutes or so, but as you can see, that puff pastry is gorgeous and golden brown. Smells amazing. Give this one a go, guys. Super simple. I use the recipe from the blog online. If you just search Bites with Brie, and then in her search bar, put in chicken pie, this will come right up. And that's the recipe that I use.